Right now, an attorney for the teenager who was arrested while experiencing a mental health crisis says he should be compensated.
And City of Madison officials hope a break from rain in the forecast can help lake levels get back to normal.
Plus, a man who became a doctor after serving prison time for a mistake he made as a teen now has a chance at achieving his dreams. Oh, Governor Evers' pardon is changing the course of his life.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 6.
Thanks for joining us. The attorney for the boy and his family who are in the process of suing the City of Madison for $2.8 million is speaking out about the case tonight.
And Jamie Perez joins us now with what he's expecting going forward in a case that has gained a lot of public interest. Jamie?
Well, as you may recall, an investigation found the officers in this video used reasonable force, but the attorney who is representing this family said it might be up to a jury to decide that.
What the video does clearly show is that this young man was pinned down and immobilized by 4 police officers and beaten in the head.
Attorney Charlie Geeson is representing the boy shown in this video and his family, who are at the beginning stages of suing the city for what happened here.
Obviously, he suffered from the pain of being restrained by 4 officers and beaten.
An investigation by Madison and UW police found the officers used reasonable force. Former Police Chief Mike Koval saying at the time, the disposition of this investigation does not mean that the outcome in this case was desirable. The department recognizes a responsibility to use force in a professional and appropriate manner, and that the investigation found several opportunities of improvement that might have resulted in a better outcome. The boy's family, though, still wants some retribution for the lasting impacts they say this had on their son.
So you have a fragile young man who's undergoing a mental health crisis, and that may very well have aggravated his mental health.
The family has already filed a claim against the city for $2.8 million. The city still has several months to respond, but Geeson is expecting that they'll deny the claim. In that case, he says it will be up to a jury to decide if the officers used reasonable force, but says there is a possibility for a settlement before it ever reaches a jury.
And that, again, depends on the terms of the settlement. If the city makes a reasonable proposal, we'd certainly entertain that.
While the family is not commenting on the case, Geeson said this entire process has been difficult on them as they work to gather up medical records and document the emotional stress they say this has caused the boy.
You hear different reports of what happened from different officers. The video certainly tells the story.
Now, I reached out to the city attorney for comment, but they denied my request, saying that they will not comment on pending litigation.
The story will continue to follow. Jamie Perez reporting. Jamie, thank you. Sure. Madison police say they have arrested 2 so-called kingpins in a series of burglaries and car thefts in Dane County. 24-year-old Cleaster Moon and 17-year-old Joshua Pitts were arrested over the weekend on tentative charges after multiple agencies coordinated to investigate car theft sprees.
There's still a lot of work to see what all is connected, who can we hold accountable for certain things, and ultimately the people that have been identified as people we didn't know about, how do we deal with that now?
In addition to burglary charges, the 2 face charges of resisting, obstruction, and fleeing officers. A Milwaukee couple is being charged with maintaining a drug trafficking place and intent to distribute THC. 30-year-old Amanda Ware, 34-year-old Giovanni Molina were arrested last week. Police uncovered more than 10,000 THC vaping cartridges inside their home, along with nearly $1 million in cash and a semi-automatic handgun. The bust follows the arrest of 3 members of a Kenosha family accused of running a massive counterfeit THC vape cartridge operation as well.
A few clear days without rain. Let's check your first alert forecast now with meteorologist Dana Fulton.
It was definitely a nice Monday for us. A lot of sunshine and temperature-wise right where we should be for this time of year. Currently, of course, we're falling through the 60s, about 62 in Madison right now. Still nice and sunny. Sunset's just about 30 minutes away, and once the sun does set, our temps are going to fall pretty quickly. Doppler track will stay quiet overnight, nothing new moving in, while we're at about 62 in Madison, a little closer to 59 already in Camp Douglas and 63 in Platteville. Again, with that sunshine and a calm breeze, it's been very comfortable outside. For the next few hours, our breeze will stay nice and calm in the single digits, but overnight lows will fall to the low 40s. A very cool start to Tuesday. But that won't be the coolest start of the week. We'll take a closer look at your full forecast in just a few minutes.
Madison engineers say this week's dry forecast will help lower lake levels. A release from the city says water levels have gone down slightly after all of the rain last week, but Lake Mendota is cresting and Dane County may have to increase the Tenney Dam's release rate. City crews are continuing to monitor the forecast.
New at 6, a Missouri man has pleaded not guilty to tampering with a vehicle rented by 2 Wisconsin brothers who are missing and presumed dead. Prosecutors allege Garland Nelson abandoned a rental truck that Justin and Nick Diemel of Shawano County were using to visit his farm. Human remains were found on Nelson's property at the end of July. Those still have not been identified.
Democrats in the Wisconsin legislature are prioritizing agenda items this fall session that the Republican majority has repeatedly rejected. That includes expanding Medicaid, raising the minimum wage, and universal gun background checks. Governor Evers is considering calling a special session to take up gun control measures. The move would not force Republicans to debate the measures, but Representative Chris Taylor says it would make a statement that Democrats are standing up for residents.
80% of Wisconsinites support universal background checks. These are people who are Republicans, these are people who are independent, who are Democrats. They live in red counties, blue counties, purple counties. And yet we can't seem to move that issue. We don't have any Republicans on the bill.
Representative Taylor is also hopeful that legalizing medical marijuana will be considered. Her bill has bipartisan support, and Assembly Speaker Robin Vos has also been open to the idea.
In La Crosse today, Republicans with the Trump for Victory campaign hosted a counter-impeachment event in front of Democratic Representative Ron Kind's office. It's part of a nationwide movement called Stop the Madness to hold who protesters call vulnerable Democrats accountable. The Republican National Committee has debuted a Stop the Madness website encouraging people to show up to counter protests. A new life beginning.
And those are the words a man is using tonight to describe how it feels to be pardoned by Governor Tony Evers. Rose Schmidt tells us what he plans to do with his new freedom from his felony conviction.
A felony conviction in Wisconsin means losing the right to own a firearm, temporarily losing the right to vote. And for Dr. Mwangi Vassar, it means he hasn't been able to pursue the career he's always wanted. But with a pardon, he's hoping that will change.
I am grateful.
Dr. Mwangi Vassar will tell you about his many blessings. He's a barber and associate minister in Georgia. He has his doctorate in theology with dreams of becoming a military chaplain. But standing in his way is a felony conviction.
I'm not a bad person, and any other man or woman that has been convicted are all not bad individuals. We just did something wrong at that particular time.
A Milwaukee native, Vassar was arrested for selling cocaine at 19 years old. He's now 40.
I was one that was told, you're not going to accomplish this, you're not going to succeed in this here, and I stand before you today as a straight-A student with a doctorate degree.
That diligence led him to write multiple letters to former Governor Scott Walker, asking for forgiveness for his crime, only to learn Walker wasn't issuing any pardons.
I was hurt, but at the same time, I continued to do what I've been doing for the last 22 years, praying and moving forward.
But when Governor Tony Evers took office this year, Vassar immediately wrote to him. Many months later, the Pardon Advisory Board chose to recommend him.
Out of reading the whole letter, only words I saw was pardon board, recommended, accepted. I was all over the place. I was all over the place, emotionally crying, praising God first and foremost, mixed emotions. A little fear was there because it's a new life beginning.
He drove up from Georgia to be one of 4 men pardoned by Evers during a ceremony that was closed to the media. Vassar presented Evers with this plaque, hoping to show some of his gratitude for yet another blessing.
But more so wanting to be here personally to thank the governor for allowing this opportunity and taking this chance to say, hey, I'm going to give you forgiveness.
Dr. Vassar says he's going to pound the pavement, exercise, and slim down his waist size just a bit so he can apply to be a military chaplain. And Evers says in a statement that all 4 men pardoned today have paid their debt to society and deserve a second chance.
That's a good story, Rose. Thank you.
Thanks, Rose.
Next at 6, local schools are starting a new job training program focused on video games. Why one teacher says it's a good use of students' time.
And more local news ahead. Parents in Oregon are upset that plans to expand a local park do not include any soccer fields. That story tonight, News 3 Now at 10.
The U.S. Supreme Court is refusing to hear a bid by the University of Wisconsin Alumni Research Foundation against Apple. The Alumni Foundation claimed the company used computer processor technology without permission in certain iPhones and iPads. The justices declined to review a lower court's 2018 decision to throw out $506 million in damages Apple was first ordered to pay after a jury decided the company infringed on the university's patent.
Wisconsin environmental officials say PFAS chemicals have contaminated creeks in Dane and Monroe counties. The DNR sampled 5 bodies of water this summer that are near PFAS contamination sites like military bases. They found elevated levels in Starkweather Creek in Dane County and Silver Creek in Monroe County. They found lower PFAS levels in the Mississippi River between Minneapolis and La Crosse, the Wisconsin River between Rhinelander and Nakusa, and the Menominee River near Marinette. If you're the parent of a video gamer, you know kids can spend hours playing.
But have you ever thought all that time could lead to a college scholarship? One local school district is capitalizing on esports as a new opportunity for students, and our Amanda Quintana has the details.
Esports is competitive gaming. School teams, JV and varsity, challenging each other in 2 games each season. Right now, Overwatch and Super Smash Bros. Montello Middle School and High School are in just their third year, but the program has taken off. Now they have a room dedicated to the team. For the last 2 years, 2 students each year have been offered college scholarships because of it. Coach Dave Lockstein says esports takes traditional sports to a whole other level.
This is kind of like playing those traditional sports when you're working with your team, but then also there's a level of strategy that it requires, kind of like chess, to be able to maneuver and defend or to attack a position.
He's calling it this generation's NFL, saying when he was young, the NFL didn't have all the broadcasting, 24/7 sports channels, and social media influence. He expects esports to continue to grow in the same way. For the small schools in Montello, it's giving students job experience for the future. And soon we will have a handful of esports teams in our area. Sun Prairie High School is planning to launch a team next school year. Wisconsin Dells High School getting ready for the Spring League, and Edgewood High School just started their first official year of competition. And because it's not WIAA, you can play esports and a traditional sport.
Willie Street Co-op is trying to break a world record for largest display of fair trade produce. In the rush of everyday life, the co-op's purchasing director says it can be hard for any of us to stop and think about how the items we buy affect the lives of people across the world. So to raise awareness about fair trade, co-op employees plan to stack bananas and avocados to the ceiling at the Willie West location in Middleton. The display will be unveiled on Friday at 5 p.m. and a panel discussion will follow.
Coming up, we have a handful of beautiful fall weather days on repeat before the rain returns. Dana will have your first alert forecast next.
Welcome back. We are learning more about which Madison intersections are the most dangerous for crashes and why that is. From 2011 to 2015, Dane County saw more than 1,300 vehicle crashes involving pedestrians or bicyclists, resulting in nearly 30 deaths. 80% of those crashes happened in Madison. Traffic investigators like Sam Breyer look into what causes the crashes to find ways to prevent them. He says distractions play a big role for both drivers and pedestrians.
People are in a hurry, and I think they also don't understand that serious tragic consequences do result all the time from people not paying attention. All it takes is one inattentive driver or one intoxicated driver or one speeding driver to strike a pedestrian, and there are catastrophic consequences.
Tonight on News 3 Now at 10, Madeline O'Neill takes a look at some of the most dangerous intersections in Madison for those on foot or bike and what's being done to make the roads safer for everyone.
Thanks to everyone who donated to our Coats for Kids campaign this year. We still have some coats to count, but so far our total is 4,383 coats. And for those who want to get a hold of a coat, our distribution starts October 15th. It'll be at the Community Action Coalition's Free Clothing Center.
Meteorologist Dana Fulton joins us now, and it felt a bit chilly out there today.
Yes, starting to get into coat weather, especially early in the morning. Our temperatures are really starting to drop for our overnight lows. Not the coldest morning of the week just yet. We're going to hold off until the weekend before we get there. Right now, a really comfortable evening. Sunset still just about 15 minutes away. We're at 62 in Madison. Once the sun does set, our temperatures are going to drop pretty quickly overnight through the 50s and 40s for early tomorrow morning. It certainly feels like fall outside. And for central and northern Wisconsin, it's starting to really look like fall. Our fall colors in a peak already for a few counties. In southern Wisconsin, we're under about 25% right now, so we still have just a little more time. We'll give it another week and a half or so before we really start to see those peak colors pop through for the southern counties. Doppler track looks nice and calm and quiet. High pressure is keeping things in a great spot throughout the plains and northern Midwest. That cold front that brought our showers for Saturday is now well to the east. It's not going to impact our forecast at all anymore. The high pressure keeps us quiet. Our next chance for showers right now, bringing some showers into the Pacific Northwest around Vancouver and Seattle. It's going to take its time sliding in our direction, and once it does get closer for Thursday, that's when we'll have our rain chances pick back on up. But high pressure keeps us quiet overnight and into Tuesday morning. For tomorrow, plan on a mostly sunny sky. Wednesday, another repeat performance of the sunshine. Partly sunny, so we might have a few more clouds, but overall for Wednesday, things do look pretty good. By Thursday, though, we'll steadily become mostly cloudy. Those shower chances creep closer in the afternoon and evening. Scattered showers expected to build in by Thursday night and into Friday, with the rain chances staying for Friday and Saturday. Along with that system, we're going to see a big cool down by Saturday and Sunday. Overnight temperatures fall through the 50s and 40s, landing at about 42 for Madison early tomorrow morning. Mostly sunny. We'll be back in the mid 60s for our afternoon highs for Tuesday. A really seasonable day. That's exactly where we should be at this time in October. By Wednesday morning, we're only going to drop to the upper 40s, so not nearly as cool outside early in the day thanks to a little southern breeze. But for Wednesday afternoon, high temperatures will be in the upper 60s, so it'll be quite pleasant outside. Looking ahead to the middle of the week, and it'll be our last sunny day for a little stretch of time. 42 officially for the overnight low. Again, mostly clear tonight and a little cool outside. Tomorrow, plan on a high of 64. It'll be mostly sunny and just very pleasant. Another repeat of today. Tomorrow, we're in the mid 60s. For Wednesday, we're in the upper 60s. We stay there for Thursday, even with the cloud coverage building on in. Our shower chances start to develop late in the day and overnight. Plan on scattered showers for Friday and early on Saturday. But by Saturday, that's really when we see our temperatures start to drop because of this system. Temperatures for early Saturday and Sunday morning will fall to the upper 30s. So our first opportunity for some patchy frost could scoot into Madison around this weekend. By Sunday, we get the sunshine back, but we'll stay in the upper 40s for our afternoon highs. And heading into next week, our temps rebound a little more, back closer to 60 with mostly sunny skies. We'll get another stretch of dry weather. That's a quick look at your forecast.
Are the Packers the best team in the NFC after their big win in Dallas? The story's coming up in sports.
News
There are 2 undefeated teams left in the NFL. The Patriots are 5-0. The 49ers are 4-0, heading into their Monday night game against Cleveland tonight. The Green Bay Packers just a step behind at 4-1 after going to Dallas and beating the Cowboys 34-24 yesterday. What a day for running back Aaron Jones. He grew up in El Paso, Texas. He rushed for 107 yards and 4 touchdowns in AT&T Stadium, which is about a 9-hour drive from the West Texas town of El Paso.
I don't know, I'm just back at home. All my family's up in the stands. I can see my brother right there. Like, I threw him one of the balls when I scored, so that was pretty cool. My brother and my cousin were right there, so I don't know, just being back in Texas. Everybody had to step up, just everybody across the board. We need more weapons, and so from tight ends to receivers to backs to fullback, we all had to step our game up and fill the void, and I think we did.
The Badger football team figures to have a little tougher test this Saturday at Camp Randall. Michigan State in town for a 2:30 start on BTN. It's going to be hard to improve on last Saturday's 48-0 win over Kent State, especially that #1 ranked defense that had 9 sacks, allowed just 124 yards to the Golden Flashes. But Chris Orr says you can always improve.
Every week it's always something that we could be better at. We rarely watch tape and say like, oh, this is really good. You know, it's kind of self-explanatory. There's no need to, pat yourself on the back if you see something good going on. But we definitely have some things that we need to clean up. Definitely some meat we left on the bone. There's some plays that we could have made. So it's pretty much every week that we're like that. So we're getting closer, but we ain't there yet.
Big shocker here. Jonathan Taylor, the Big Ten's Offensive Player of the Week again. That's the 3rd time this season. He tied the Wisconsin school record with 5 touchdowns against Kent State. He also passed Melvin Gordon, 3rd place on the Badgers' all-time rushing list. Ron Dane and Monte Ball still ahead of him. Badger volleyball jumped 6 spots in the new national rankings today. Wisconsin was 13th. They're now 7th. The big reason, last week they beat 5th and 3rd ranked teams in the country, Penn State and Nebraska. That's about as good as a week you can have. And head coach Kelly Sheffield says there's a lot of reasons why it happened.
We haven't given up a ton of errors. I think that's another reason why we have finished well and why we haven't given up long runs of points. We haven't, teams have had to earn their points against us. We haven't been, chucking balls out of bounds or things like that, and that certainly helps.
Our Premier High School football game of the week is an historic one. Middleton and Sun Prairie will play the final regular season football game at Ashley Field as we know it. They're going to do some major renovations once the season's over, but Friday it's business as usual with Middleton and Sun Prairie live on channel3000.com. Game 4 of the National League Division Series. The Cardinals had to beat Atlanta and St. Louis to keep their season alive. 4-4 in the 10th. Did Yadier Molina hit it far enough for the game-winning sacrifice fly? Yes, he did. 5-4, Cardinals in 10. Game 5 back at Atlanta. Also today, Tampa Bay beat Houston 10-3, so the Astros lead that 2-1. Look at Charlotte Delester. My gosh.
Well, I was looking up Kit Kat Swirl because we have this bet.
You got the whitest teeth in the world with the Cardinals.
I was like, phew, still there.
Come on back to Atlanta. Play the Braves
right.
one more time.
Game 5. Let's go. All right, final check, Dana.
Right now, things are looking really comfortable for the rest of the evening. Overnight lows will fall through the 40s. Tomorrow, plan on another mostly sunny day. Highs will be in the mid-60s. Wednesday and Thursday, we're in the upper 60s, but for Wednesday, partly sunny. By Thursday, that cloud coverage is going to really build on in, and we'll have shower chances developing late in the day and overnight. A few isolated thunderstorms possible as well. Scattered showers expected for Friday and Saturday. Friday, though, those temperatures will fall during the day, so we'll hit 61 degrees pretty early on, and by Saturday morning, we will be in the upper 30s. Overnight lows will be close to the upper 30s for Saturday and Sunday mornings. So patchy frost will be possible this weekend, as well as those afternoon highs in the 40s, so a very cool weekend expected ahead.
All right, Dana, thank you very much. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6.
Enjoy your evening, and we'll see you back here at 10.